Run off the bus? Yeah! We know this is not realistic. Look how fast they're coming. I know.
Hello, hello.
From
Oakland, California.
That's right.
The biggest ecstatic dance probably in the country,
As far as I know.
possibly in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's Sweets Ballroom Wednesday night. This is Tyler Blank's Ecstatic Dance, and it is cracking in there.
Already. It's already going off in there.
DJ Baron Von Spirit is on the ones and twos, and we just came out to say we're here. We just came from Nevada City. That was amazing. We're about to continue to get our groove on upstairs. And tell us a little bit about the history of this ecstatic dance in comparison to some of the other places that are cracking in California, and what makes this like the hub of.
Sure, absolutely. You know, we were talking earlier, and I said this is kind of the mothership. In a way, this is the dance. It is the largest dance that I know of. It's, in a way, you could say the original dance. Not truly the original dance, because the very first ecstatic dance by that name, and there's this whole umbrella of conscious dance, and then ecstatic dance in the last 10 or so years has kind of become its own thing. That was in Kalani, on the island, Big Island, Hawaii. Tyler Blank and Donna Carroll were both very inspired by what they experienced there at Kalani, the original ecstatic dance. And they came to Oakland and they asked Kalani, they said, we want to really do something with this, can we? And they said, absolutely, you go for it. So Tyler and Donna have kind of popularized it and made it accessible and available, and they've both been very generous in doing that. And that's why there are so many dances springing up, and they're everywhere, all over the world. So that's a bit of history, and we're going to go in and dance here at the mothership.
If you are looking for an ecstatic dance in this vein of conscious dance and this brand, you can go to ecstaticdance.org, and there's a list of ecstatic dances in the major cities all over the world. And this is where I'm from. This is where I got introduced to ecstatic dance. So
why don't you tell us something about that, actually?
Well, it was a very hard time in my life. I was studying and working abroad as a professional actor, and things basically fell apart in my life. And I had to move back home to my parents' house for the first time in like a decade. And someone told me to come here, and the moment I walked in the ballroom and saw people getting loose, I was like, oh, this might be why I'm actually home right now, to do this. And the rest is history. Now I'm doing it in LA and all over the place, and the rest is, like I said, history. So I'm really happy to be back dancing here, and we'll hit you with some more interviews from some of the dancers a bit later, so just stay tuned. How can they find out more about what we're doing, what channels?
A couple of different ways. YouTube, Ecstatic Dance Channel Official. You can go to Facebook and find us at Ecstatic Dance Adventures, and then on Instagram at #Ecstatic Dance Adventures.
All right, people, keep dancing. We'll see you soon.
I really want to encourage anyone who doesn't have dance in their community to feel like they can produce and hold space for a community like this to flourish. We started with this amazing space, but 20, 30 people in it 8 years ago.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And with a lot of determination and perseverance, we saw it week after week, the magic happening, and the music happening, and the dance happening, the transformation and the healing. And slowly, people told their friends, and they told others. And here we are, over 350 people, and week after week after week, twice a week. And I know there's so many cities that don't have dance. We were actually homeless when we started this dance. We were living out of our vans and our trucks, and we paid rent to the ballroom. I'm serious.
I know you are.
Yeah, and So, really, when I walked into this space, I didn't have a choice. It was being underused. It's a historic space, and the spirit of the space just came through me and said, "You will be dancing here. This is the place." And I didn't know what was going to happen until we walked into these doors, and it became apparent. Yeah.
And you listened. I love that you just listened to that guidance.
Yeah. It really wasn't a choice at that point.
Got it.
Yep.
So I'm hearing that there's this deep desire to help in a way that is sustainable for you, but to help other people start dances in other places. If someone wants to start a dance somewhere out there that there isn't one or there needs to be more, what should they do?
Well, you can start one anytime, anywhere. Ecstatic Dance is an open term. It's not trademarked. And so we were given the quote-unquote permission by the folks at Ecstatic Dance Big Island. Thank you, Max and Elizabeth. And so we, in turn, pass that on to those who want to use it in their community. We've created a nonprofit so that people can have a space on a website. They can have graphics if they're not inclined to producing flyers. People who just want to dance and not have to worry about promoting. We're trying to make it easier for people to show up and to produce these things because it can be kind of an underground scenario. And that's what you're doing, right? I mean, you're trying to dispel the myths of what ecstatic dance is.
Absolutely.
And we're trying to make it easy for people to start them. You can go to ecstaticdance.org or edance.org, and same thing. And look on the page there. It says Start an Ecstatic Dance. Read over the guidelines and send us an email.
Great. That sounds pretty damn easy.
Yep, it's free and it's open source dance technology.
So, Baron Von Spirit, please tell us a little bit about your involvement with the Ecstatic Dance community as a DJ and an organizer of dances. I understand that you just started a new dance somewhere.
Sure. I've been dancing for, 10, 15 years. I started DJing 6 years ago and helped launch Ecstatic Dance Fairfax with Tyler Blank. And just a couple months ago, my partner, Oli Oldacre, and I started Ecstatic Dance in Corvallis, Oregon.
This whole tour, every time we're like, okay, what are things nobody's talking about? So you just mentioned a shadow that comes up in Ecstatic Dance as you see it. Tell us what you're seeing and what you're noticing.
Well, I mean, like any collective of people, any community, there is a shadow side to Ecstatic Dance. People sometimes act out in the dance community. Sometimes they don't honor boundaries that other people want to set and want held for them. I know our community is working on reinforcing the idea of consent and how important it is,
So good.
whether it's within the dance or social events around the dance. Like other communities, dance can become cliquey sometimes, cliques of people. And so it's important to remember that we're about inclusion. Because there are times when I felt excluded from certain groups within the dance community, and often people are in a lot of pain and suffering, and they're ashamed or embarrassed to share that or reach out for help. And for me, the shadow is defined by the whatever is disowned, and wherever the light is really not shining. And just encourage the community to stay in dialogue and to shine the light in those corners and be willing to own what is not always pretty. And, on the dance floor, it can be awkward and bumpy, and life is like that in communities like that. And I think we're the better for it when we acknowledge the shadow parts of the community.
All right, y'all, it's been an amazing night here. Mount Shasta is next.
Yes.
Wow. Then San Diego. But we've enjoyed our time here at the Mothership, and we'll be taking the download out to the Golden State from here. Peace.
Beautiful. Oakland. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank